there, I'm Vic, that's Nick, and we're with NV Board Gaming, and today we're going to go over Lords of Hellas. This is a 1 to 4 player game by Adam Klopinski and published by Awaken Realms. Nick is going to give us a brief overview of how we play, and then we'll give you our review.
All right, let's go over a game of Lords of Hellas. I'm going to try so hard to keep this in the 10-minute range, at least that area, because this is a heavy game. I don't want to explain every single rule in this game. So in Lords of Hellas, you're taking on a hero. In this case, red player is taking on Hercules, not Hercules, Hercules. And the green player is taking on Achilles. And you have armies that you control, or hoplites, they call them. And they are trying to please those heroes. And what we're doing, the way to win this game, I'll start off with that. Before I do, I want to explain what a land and what a region is before I explain how to win. So a land is an entire area of that color. So all this yellow is a land, and each one of these individually is a region. So you can see it's divvied up red, yellow, blue over here, and we got green over here. And there's also a gray at the bottom right. So that's lands and regions. So how do you win? Well, in a 2-player game, you can control 3 lands. If your players control the whole land with their control markers, as seen right here, and you control 3 of them, you will win. In a 3 or 4 player game, you have to control 2 lands. Another way to win is called Favored of the Gods. So it's controlling 5 regions with temples. So there's a temple here. This one's actually the Oracle of Delphi, but normally the temples look like this. So you'll control 5 regions with temples in them. Is another way to win. A third way to win is a monster slayer. So you can kill 3 of these monsters. We have Cyclops on the board right now. We have Medusa right here. And we also have the Minotaur right there. And these were all drawn out randomly on the event deck. So we just started with 3 monsters and 3 events. And the 4th way is not applicable in a 2-player game, but if you're playing with any other player count, it is called King of Kings. So if one of these monuments, we have 3 monuments on the board, they're gonna build up. So you can see there's a bunch of pieces in there. They will actually build up. So like Zeus will end up building up after like 5 pieces. Yeah, it's 5. Then they'll be fully built. Once somebody's fully built, a monument activation will trigger. Whoever controls the area with that fully built god will be the winner on the 3rd phase. So after 3 rounds, whoever controls that is gonna win. Again, that is not in a 2-player game. So that's how you win. So how do you play? Well, you have basic actions. Here's a little cheat sheet here. Hoplite movement, hero movement, prayer, and use artifacts. So use artifacts is the most basic of these. If you have an artifact, let's just top deck, you can use that artifact, turn it sideways to show that you've used it. Prayer is if you had priests, so we'll go over that soon. But right now, we don't start with any priests. They would be placed right there if we did. Hero movement, based on your hero's speed. So you can see our player board. We have leadership attribute, strength, and speed. You notice that strength is moved up because Hercules has an ability that he starts with 2 strength. So we do look at our starting bonuses. And an Achilles starts with 2 speed, right there. And they also have the special abilities and whatnot. All right, so Hercules can only move 1 for his hero movement. And at the beginning of the game, we start out picking where we want to go. So you take a hero and 2 hoplites and pick whichever one you want. So we have already done that, and maybe Hercules probably would want to move in this case because he has a quest right there. And he does have 2 strength thanks to his ability. So that would be why he picked this region to start in, because he can jump right to that quest. So for his movement, he has one movement. He's already on the region that he wants to be to go to this quest. So his movement can just be to go to the quest. He would start on the top one because he has a 2 strength. He doesn't have 4 or anything else. So every subsequent round that the red player goes, they are going to move 1 step down here, then get that reward once they complete this mission. Increase one of your hero attributes to 3. So that's very good at the start of the game. So for his move, he's just going to go ahead and start that quest. So that's hero movement. Alternatively, he can just go to adjacent spots and do that. Hoplite movement is going to be based on leadership, how many you can move. So Hercules has 1, so he can move 1 hoplite, 1 spot if you want to. Now he already has control of that based on the 2. So once he had 2 hoplites, he took control of that. He does not lose control. From now on, as long as somebody had a control, no, we don't care about this number. Once you exceed that number once, now it's a free-for-all. If the green player were to barge in with 1 hoplite and nobody was there, that would go away and it would be green, despite them only having 1 power. So they only care about it the very first time it's taken over. That's the only time we care about that number. So in order to take that, we're still going to need 5 hoplites because no one has taken that one over. So those are some of the starting. You have some special actions there. And we're going to go ahead and show you those special actions. Prepare. You can heal an injury. You can draw a combat card. Notice we start with 1 to start the game. And or recruit 1 hoplite in a region with your hero. So you can do any 2, and that means you could do one of them twice. If you were injured, you can heal twice. You can draw 2 combat cards, whichever. We can do 2 of those. Injuries, you can get an injury just looks like this. Let's do this one since it's not a 1. So it flips over, and now your strength, despite it being a 2, is now a 1 because you've been injured. So that's what an injury looks like. That can happen during a monster hunt, for instance. So let's go ahead. Let's get the monster hunt. That's a little more complex. Build temple. This is the primary way you're going to get these priests. So you look at the temple board. If you were to build a temple here, so this one doesn't have a temple on it. So hypothetically, let's say we had somebody there to build a temple. You just put one of those temples out, and you get one of your priests into your priest pool right there. That will now let you do the prayer action. So let's now cover the prayer action and jump right back. When you do the prayer action, you can choose one of these gods. We have Zeus over there, Athena right here. Let's just pick Athena. We got Hermes over here. And what they give you is listed on this cheat sheet right here. So Athena will help me with my leadership. So I will get +1 leadership if I assign a priest to her. So that's what prayer does. All right, now jumping back. Recruit. You can if you have control of a place with a city. Sorry, if you have ownership of a region, you can put 2 of your hoplites into that region. If you have a control of a place, a region with a city in it, and a city has this little fortification. This one is the biggest one. That's Sparta. You know it's Sparta because it's a +2. The rest of them are all +1. So if you have a region that you control that has a city in it, you can put 4 of those. March means you move from one, you can take all your troops. So if Green did it, they can take all their troops from one region to another region, and that is March. So when you do these, you're Xing them off with these tokens right here, because you can only do them once until a refresh occurs. So that we'll just put, if we did March, then we'll just mark it right there. Hunt, let's do hunt. This is where we can fight monsters. If we're in an area with the monsters, only your heroes can fight monsters. Only your heroes can go on these quests as well. So when you fight a monster, let's say Hercules wanted to fight, let's do Cyclops. We look at the player board right here. There's Cyclops. These are the type of injuries you have to do to him. There's little symbols on the board. And you notice that these cards have symbols as well. Luckily, I picked the right one because he does have that symbol on his board. So as you do injuries, you play these cards and you put the cubes on them to show that you're hitting them in those areas in order to defeat him. Once these are all full, this monster is defeated, and then you collect that character and you collect whatever reward. So in a hunt, you can either collect rewards from wounds that you've issued, or the reward right here, which in this case would be this artifact. It's your choice, but you can only have one. So you're gonna be able to keep playing cards from your hand. There's a four card limit, but you do draw cards when you start your hunt based on your strength. So in this case, Zeus would draw 2 cards additionally to whatever he had in his hand, and he would keep attacking. As long as he can keep attacking, then his turn will keep going. Once he cannot issue like even 1 damage on his turn, because he's going to attack, the monster's going to attack, then he can attack. So they will go back and forth as long as there isn't a card effect that says the battle ends, or they don't have their 4th injury, or they do a damage. They're going to keep going. So as long as they can do damage, they're going to keep being able to play. Once you cannot do a single ounce of damage in your round of attack, that battle's done. It is lost. It'll be the next player's turn. So that's how that works. Also, they're multi-purpose cards, so we care about this for a monster attack, and we care about everything else for a combat with another player. So then we just take the number here, how many hoplites are in the area versus their hoplites, did a little math. So there might be some abilities down here that say, let's take a look at that one. So they have some abilities down here that they have to factor in. Also, these skulls at the end are deaths. So that person will die. One of your hoplites will die from this card. But you're just trying to win. You're trying to overcome the value of hoplites plus attack bonuses and so forth. Then you see who takes control. Whoever is the one that wins the battle. So they'll put their control marker. And if you withdraw, you just go to an adjacent spot. So if you lose, but you didn't lose every single hoplite, you just have to withdraw to an adjacent spot. That is how combat works. So that's triggered right when hoplites move together. And lastly, usurp. So when you do defeat a monster, I should mention, in the region that you've defeated them, you get one of these glory tokens. If you beat them in the blue region, you're gonna have this, and now you can do that action, usurp. So if your hero is in an area, they can kick out all hoplites of another color. By all they have to do is show that they have the blue. So if you do that in the blue area, you can kick out all those hoplites are dead because you own blue right there. So that's pretty powerful if it comes to fruition. And now build monument. This will be the last thing I talk about. In this order, so all players remove priests from monuments. You add the next level of chosen monument, so they're going to choose what monument. So if they choose Athena, they're going to put the next piece on Athena. This monument's going to get built. So now she has her legs. So now her ability is a little more powerful when priests go to them. That's how that looks. You're going to gain a priest. Only the person that did the build monument action is going to gain a priest for every temple they control. So they have a control marker on an area that has a temple built. Then boom, they're going to go ahead and gain a priest. All players remove used action tokens, so these go away. And they roll a monster die for every monster on the map. Then they draw an event card. So they would point to which one they're going to go ahead and control. So let's say Medusa, they'll roll. In this case, they do their region attack, that symbol. So they look at the region attack for Medusa and do that. There's also a passive thing for Medusa. Other ones down here do not have a passive, but this does. So you have to be very weary of the fact that hoplites cannot move out of a region with Medusa in it. So either they have to have their hero kill Medusa, or they can move Medusa with this die. So if it happened to land on a move, they can go ahead and move Medusa out of here. So whoever did this has control of what option in some of these cases. So that's pretty nice. And they can decide to move them to another player, which would wreak havoc on them perhaps. And draw an event card was the last one I mentioned. So in this case, the Sphinx would come out, and they would come out in that region right there. So, Sphinx. Plopping down right here. How's it going, guys? The minis are pretty cool, huh? I like that. And I already went over the win conditions, so that is the gist of how you play Lords of Hellas. 15 minutes, not too bad.
So, Lords of Hellas today. We both have played this at 4 players and 2 players to get a little, see how the scaling is. Review for this one, or my score for this one, I should say, is an 8.6. So, what I like about the game, I love the miniatures. I love the multiple paths to victory. It reminds me of Inish in that way. I think they're all interesting routes to take. You can play your games differently every time you play. The monsters are super cool. Attacking the monsters. I don't use that tactic, but I just like that as an option. If I happen to have cards that would lend themselves to doing damage on monsters, I would probably go that way. It just seems like a lot of fun. Let's see. What I maybe docked it for, I don't think it scales well. At 2 players, no. It didn't work that well. So 4 players I thought was very good. I think 3 players would be good too.
Yeah.
It's just not a 2-player game really, so to be honest. I haven't played it solo yet. I hear it's pretty solid solo. Interested to try it actually. What do you got, Vic?
I gave it a high score. I gave it an 8.2. I enjoyed this game when we played it with Tim and Carrie, our friends. I enjoyed it at 4, like Nick said. Miniatures look great. I love the team nature of beating up on the monsters, that you can take hits on them. And then one thing that happened with playing with 4 people is I did a 1 hit a couple of times on a monster after I let other people do the bulk of the damage on the monster. So it was kind of funny to go in there and score the win on the monster, or to defeat the monster and get the spoils just from doing one little flick of their of them to finish it off. So I really enjoyed the team nature of beating up on a monster, and some of the effects of the monsters as well when they're in the area that you can be attacked by them. I think that's interesting too.
It's like team, but not, because they're not happy when you finish them off. And it could be just bad luck. Just don't get the hit on that last hit you needed. You didn't get it, and then Vic comes in and swoops him, and slaps him across the face, and he gets that W.
And the area control. I mean, who doesn't enjoy trying to take control of an area and make sure you maintain it, and then someone can sneak up on you, and all of a sudden, hey, what are you doing there? So just a lot of fun. Really great for a group that enjoys that kind of game. I scored it very high for that reason. Let us know in the comment section below what game you enjoy that has area control, or what game you enjoy that has really great miniatures. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have some great content that we're coming out with multiple times a week. And have a great day. Thank you.
See ya.